The door opened. Rebecca. My sister stood in the doorway holding a coffee cup. Her face was blank. I was in room 447 at Methodist Hospital. Post-op day 2. Kidney stone removal. The kind of pain that rewrites your understanding of suffering. Behind Rebecca, Mom appeared. Looked tired. Guilty, maybe. Marcus, Mom said. We came. I'd texted them Thursday, told them about the emergency surgery. Mom had sent back a praying hands emoji. That was it. Now they were here, Saturday afternoon, 48 hours late. Rebecca walked to my bedside, set the coffee cup on the tray table, didn't ask if I wanted any. How are you feeling? She asked. Like someone shoved a camera through my dick. Mom flinched. Language. Rebecca didn't react. She was looking at the IV pole, at the bag dripping saline into my left arm. Her hand reached out. I thought she was adjusting the stand, being helpful for once. Then she grabbed the catheter line and ripped it out of my vein. Sharp pain. Blood immediately. I jerked back. What the? Rebecca stepped away, face still blank, like she'd just closed a window. It slipped, she said. It didn't slip. You pulled it. You moved. I was checking the connection. You jerked. I stared at her. Blood was running down my forearm, dripping onto the hospital blanket. Mom stood frozen in the doorway. Not shocked, not horrified, just watching. I'll get the nurse, Mom said quietly. She turned, positioned herself in the doorway, blocking the view from the hallway. Not stepping aside. Blocking. Get out, I said. Rebecca picked up her coffee. I was trying to help. Get out. She walked to the door. Calm. Unhurried. Mom followed. At the threshold, Mom turned back. We'll come back later when you're feeling better. They left. I sat there holding my arm. That wasn't an accident. Footsteps. A nurse appeared. Young. Name badge, said Kelly. She saw my arm. What happened? The IV came out. Kelly grabbed gauze, started cleaning the blood. These don't just come out, Mr. Torres. Peripheral lines are secured. Someone has to pull them. I didn't answer. Kelly worked fast, cleaned the site, examined the torn skin. Who was in here? My sister, my mom. Did one of them pull this? I hesitated. Say it. Tell her. My sister, I said finally. She said it was an accident. Kelly stopped moving. Looked at me. Was it? I thought about Rebecca's face, expressionless, mechanical. About Mom blocking the doorway. No. Kelly finished bandaging the wound, started prepping a new IV site on my right arm. I'm noting this in your chart. If anyone from your family tries to touch your medical equipment again, you press that call button, immediately. Okay. She inserted the new catheter, taped it down, triple-checked the connections. I'll send the charge nurse. She'll want to talk to you. Kelly left. I sat there. My phone was on the side table. I picked it up. Hands shaking. Texted Jake. Methodist Hospital. Room 447. Can you come? 3 dots appeared. Jake. OMW. 20 min. I set the phone down, looked at the bandage on my left arm. The new IV in my right. My sister just attacked me. In a hospital. While I was recovering from surgery. And Mom watched. A different nurse appeared 15 minutes later. Older. Confident. Name badge. Linda Chen, RN, charge nurse. She pulled up a chair, sat down like we had all day. Kelly told me what happened. I want to hear it from you. My sister pulled out my IV, said it was an accident. Do you believe that? No. Linda nodded. Pulled out a tablet, started typing. Has anything like this happened before, during previous hospital stays? My stomach dropped. Yeah, maybe. Maybe, I thought back. 2020. Appendicitis. Emergency surgery. Rebecca visited while I was on morphine. I woke up foggy. Wrong. The nurse said someone had adjusted my drip. 2019. Kidney donation. Post-op. Rebecca hugged me hard. My incision started bleeding. She said she forgot I just had surgery. Twice, I said quietly. 2019 and 2020. Different things, but yeah. Linda kept typing. Mr. Torres, I'm looking at your file. You've been a patient here 3 times in 5 years. Each time, there's a nursing flag for incident during family visit. Do you know what that means? No. It means something happened that concerned staff. Something unusual. But each time you told nurses it was fine. An accident. A misunderstanding. She looked at me. This is the 3rd time you've told us it's fine. But you just said you don't believe it was an accident. So which is it? I didn't know what to say. Linda set down the tablet. I've been a nurse 23 years. I've seen families fight over inheritance. Over who makes medical decisions. Over grudges that go back decades. And I've seen people hurt each other in hospital rooms when they think no one's watching. She pulled a pamphlet from her pocket. Set it on my tray table. Patient safety. Reporting and advocacy. You have options. You can file a formal incident report. Request that your sister be barred from visiting. You can contact patient advocacy for support. Or you can do nothing. What happens if I report it? Hospital security reviews the footage. If they find evidence of deliberate harm, they file with police. Your family will be notified. It gets complicated. Footage? Security cameras. Every patient room has one, for liability. I looked at the corner of the ceiling. Small black dome. There was proof. You don't have to decide now, Linda said. But I'm putting a note in your system. If your sister returns, staff will be present during the visit. For your safety. She stood. One more thing. Our system auto-deletes footage after 30 days. If you want a copy for your records, request it through patient advocacy. There's a small fee. She left the pamphlet. Walked out. I picked up the pamphlet. Read the first line. You have the right to feel safe during medical care. Jake arrived 30 minutes later. Black hoodie. Backpack. Holding a bag of Doritos and a Mountain Dew like he'd stopped at 7-Eleven on the way. Dude, you look rough. Thanks. He dropped into the visitor chair. Opened the Doritos. What happened? Your text sounded urgent. My sister ripped out my IV. Jake stopped chewing. What? She came to visit, grabbed the line, pulled it out, said it was an accident. Was it? No. Jake set down the chips. Marcus, that's assault. I know. Did you tell the nurses? Yeah. They're putting a flag on my room. Said there's security footage. Good. What else? I showed him the pamphlet. Jake read it. Looked up. Are you going to report it? I don't know. It feels insane. Calling the cops on my own sister. She injured you in a hospital bed. What's insane about reporting that? It's family. Jake leaned back. Can I tell you something? Yeah. I haven't talked to my dad in 4 years. I stared at him. What? 4 years. 0 contact. He's blocked on everything. Why? Because when I was 22, he came to my apartment drunk. Asked for money. I said no. He punched me, broke my nose, bled all over my kitchen. Jesus. What did you do? Nothing. Told everyone I got jumped outside a bar. Protected him. Because he's my dad, right? Family. Jake looked at me. 2 years later, he did it again. Different excuse, same violence. That time I called the cops. They came, took a statement, did nothing. He was gone before they arrived. No evidence. So you cut him off. Completely. And you know what I learned? What? That protecting people who hurt you doesn't make you a good person. It makes you their accomplice. I sat with that. Your sister just assaulted you, Jake said. Your mom watched. If you don't report it, you're telling them it's okay to do it again. They won't do it again. How do you know? I didn't. My phone buzzed. Text from Mom. Mom, 4:18 p.m. We're sorry for upsetting you. Rebecca feels terrible. I showed Jake. He snorted. Rebecca feels terrible. Not, Rebecca is sorry. Not, we shouldn't have come. Just, she feels bad. Another text. Mom, 4:20 p.m. It was an accident. She didn't mean to hurt you. Jake grabbed my phone. Can I? Go ahead, he typed. Hit send. I took the phone back. Me, 4:21 p.m. She ripped out my IV. The nurse had to reinsert it. That's not an accident. Don't come back. 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. Mom, 4:24 p.m. You're being dramatic. Jake pointed at the screen. That right there? That's gaslighting. I know. Do you? Because you're still questioning whether to report her. I set the phone down. Face down. How long has this been going on? Jake asked. Whatever this is with your family. I don't know. Always? And you've never pushed back? Not really. Why? I thought about it. Because they're family. Because I thought if I was just easier to deal with, they'd eventually see me. Actually, see me. And did they? I looked at my bandaged arm. No. Jake opened his Mountain Dew, took a long drink. So maybe it's time to stop being easy. Linda came back at 6 p.m. Mr. Torres, I did some checking. Your file shows 3 prior incidents. 2019, post-kidney donation, incision bleeding after family visit, 2020, appendicitis recovery, morphine drip tampered with. 2024, today. IV removal. 3 times, not 2. 3. There's something else, Linda said. In 2021, a patient named Linda Marshall, different Linda, filed a complaint about ventilator tampering during end-of-life care. Hospital security reviewed footage. Showed a visitor adjusting settings during family visit hours. Patient survived. Family declined to press charges to avoid conflict. Why are you telling me this? Because the visitor flagged that day? Rebecca Torres. Your sister. My blood went cold. She tampered with someone's ventilator? We can't prove it was deliberate. Footage was unclear. But the flag is there, in our system. Linda sat down. Marcus, I shouldn't be telling you this, but I've watched people ignore patterns until someone gets seriously hurt. Your sister has been flagged 4 times in 5 years across 2 hospitals. 4 incidents where someone ended up injured during her visits. Who was Linda Marshall? Her ex-husband's mother. Jesus Christ. What do you want me to do? I asked. I want you to protect yourself. Get the footage. File the report. Make sure this pattern stops before someone doesn't survive. She stood. Footage request forms are at the Patient Advocacy Office. 2nd floor. $25 processing fee. They'll give you a USB drive. She left. I sat there. 4 incidents. 4 times Rebecca had hurt someone in a hospital, and everyone just let her. I picked up my phone, opened photos, scrolled back to November 2019. There. Me in a hospital bed. Pale, exhausted. Post-kidney donation. Rebecca next to me, smiling. Healthy. The caption she'd posted to Facebook. So grateful for my amazing brother. He literally saved my life. Jak kidney donor, Dr. family. Blessed I'd given her a kidney. And today, she ripped out my IV. I screenshot the photo. Saved it to a new album titled Evidence. Then I texted Jake. Me. I'm going to report her. Jake. Good. Want me to stay? Me. No. Go home. I'll call you tomorrow. Jake. Proud of you, man. I set the phone down. Looked at the pamphlet. At the camera in the corner. At my bandaged arm. Tomorrow, I'd go to patient advocacy. I'd get the footage. And I'd file the report. Because Jake was right. Protecting people who hurt you doesn't make you loyal. It makes you their next victim. And I was done being a victim. I got discharged Sunday morning. The nurse who processed my paperwork wasn't Linda. Wasn't Kelly. Just some weekend staff who handed me prescriptions and discharge instructions and said, feel better. I signed the forms, walked out, drove home. My apartment was exactly how I'd left it 3 days ago. Dirty dishes in the sink, laundry piled on the couch, mail scattered on the counter. I set down my hospital bag, sat on the couch, stared at the wall. My phone was on silent. Had been since yesterday. I turned it over. 17 missed calls. Mom, 11, Rebecca, 4, unknown numbers, 2. 6 voicemails. I didn't listen to them. Instead, I opened my banking app, transferred $25 to my checking account. Tomorrow, I'd go to the hospital, get the footage, start the process. Tonight, I just needed to exist. Monday, I went to work. HVAC service calls don't stop because you're having a family crisis. First job, broken furnace in a duplex. Elderly couple, heat out for 2 days. I replaced the igniter, tested the system, charged them half price because they reminded me of my grandparents. Second job, restaurant walk-in freezer, compressor shot. That one took 3 hours. I worked until 6 p.m., drove home, ate microwaved leftovers, went to bed at 8, woke up at 3 a.m. thinking about Rebecca's blank face, the way she'd pulled the line. No hesitation, no emotion, like disconnecting a lamp. Tuesday morning, I drove to Methodist Hospital, patient advocacy office, 2nd floor. A woman at the desk looked up. Mid-40s, professional. How can I help you? I need to request security footage from my stay last week. Date and room number? December 14th, room 447. She typed into her computer. Reason for request? I hesitated. Personal records. There was an incident. What kind of incident? Family member pulled out my IV. Her fingers stopped moving. Was this reported to hospital security? The charge nurse noted it in my chart. One moment. She picked up a phone, dialed an extension. Security. I have a patient requesting footage review for a flagged incident. Room 447, December 14th. Yes, I'll hold. She waited. I stood there feeling like I was crossing a line I couldn't uncross. Okay, I'll let him know. She hung up. Security is pulling the footage now. Processing fee is $25. You'll receive a USB drive with the relevant timestamps. Should be ready by end of business today. I paid cash. We'll call when it's ready for pickup. I left, sat in my truck in the parking lot. It was real now. I just requested video evidence of my sister assaulting me. I couldn't go home. Couldn't sit in my apartment waiting for the phone to ring. I drove instead. Ended up at the county animal shelter. 15 minutes outside the city. I'd volunteered here in college. Hadn't been back in over a year. The building looked the same. Cinder block, chain link kennels. The sound of dogs barking before I even opened the door. Inside, Rita was at the front desk. She looked up, smiled. Marcus Torres, what the heck have you been? Working, living, the usual. You look terrible. Thanks, Rita. I'm serious. You okay? I wasn't, but I said, can I walk dogs? Always. She handed me a clipboard. Leash. Walked me back to the kennels. Rocky's been here a month. Husky mix. Owner surrendered him when they moved. High energy. Pulls like a freight train. You up for it? Yeah. Rocky was beautiful. Gray and white. Blue eyes. Currently losing his mind because someone was near his kennel. I opened the gate. He lunged. I caught the leash. Barely. We made it outside. Rocky pulled toward the trail. I held on. We found a rhythm. For 20 minutes, I didn't think about Rebecca, about hospitals, about footage waiting for me, just a dog who wanted to run. We were halfway around the loop when I saw her. A woman, maybe 30, sitting on a bench near the creek, crying. I slowed down. Rocky sniffed the air. You okay? I called out. She looked up, wiped her face. Yeah, sorry, I'm fine. You don't look fine. She laughed. Hollow. My husband just told me he's leaving. Took the dog, our dog. Said he's keeping her because I work too much. Rocky pulled toward her. Sat at her feet. Put his head on her knee. She stared at him. Then broke. Just completely broke. I stood there awkwardly while she cried into Rocky's fur. He's not mine, I said. I'm just walking him. But he's good at this. She nodded. Kept crying. After a minute, she looked up. Thank you. I needed this. Anytime. We walked back. She didn't say anything else. Just scratched Rocky's ears and walked to her car. I took Rocky inside. Rita was waiting. Saw you talking to someone. She was having a bad day. Rocky helped. Rita smiled. Dogs are better at showing up than people. I thought about that. Yeah, they are. My phone rang at 4 p.m., hospital. Mr. Torres, your footage is ready for pickup. I drove back. The advocacy office was closing in 30 minutes. The same woman handed me a sealed envelope. USB drive inside. Footage is time-stamped. December 14th, 2:47 p.m. to 3:15 p.m. If you need additional copies, let us know. Thanks. I walked to my truck. Sat there holding the envelope. Inside was proof. Or nothing. I didn't know which terrified me more. I went home. Plugged the USB into my laptop. One file, MP4, 28 minutes. I clicked play. The video loaded. Hospital room. Wide angle. Me in bed. Asleep. 2:51 p.m. Door opens. Rebecca enters. Alone. She stands at the foot of my bed, watching me sleep. For 30 seconds, she just watches. Then walks to the window. Looks out. 2:52 p.m. Mom enters. They don't speak. Rebecca walks to the IV pole. I wake up. Sit up slightly. Audio is muffled. But I see my mouth move. Rebecca responds. Then her hand reaches out. Grabs the catheter line. Pulls. I jerk back. Blood visible even on low-quality footage. Mom steps into the doorway. Not panicked. Not rushing to help. She positions herself, blocking the hallway view. 2:54 p.m. A nurse appears. Kelly, Rebecca, and Mom leave. Video continues. Kelly reinserts the IV, leaves. I sit alone. 3:15 p.m. Video ends. I watched it 3 more times. Each time the same thing stood out. Mom didn't freeze. She moved deliberately. Blocked the doorway. Helped. I called Jake. I got the footage. And? It's all there. Rebecca pulling the IV, Mom blocking the door, everything. Good. What now? I don't know. Police? Yeah, file a report. Give them the footage. What if they don't care? It's family. It's an IV line, not like she stabbed me. Marcus, she trying to destroy you in a hospital. There's video evidence. File the report. Okay. You want me to come with you? No, I need to do this myself. Call me after. I hung up, opened Google, searched. How to file police report assault. Results loaded. Articles about domestic violence, family disputes, legal definitions. I clicked on one. Read the first paragraph. Assault in the 3rd degree. Intentionally causing physical injury to another person. Penalties include up to 1 year in jail and fines up to $2,500. 1 year in jail. For my sister. I closed the laptop, stared at the ceiling. Was I really doing this? I didn't sleep that night. Instead, I opened Facebook. Searched for Rebecca. Her profile was private. But Mom's wasn't. I scrolled through Mom's posts. Found one from June 2020. A photo of Rebecca in a hospital waiting room, looking stressed. Caption: praying for Linda's recovery. So grateful the doctors caught it in time. Rebecca has been such a support during this difficult time. Family, sock prayers. I clicked on the comments. Aunt Carol. Rebecca is such a caring person. Linda is lucky to have her. Uncle Ron. Sending love. Random church friend. What happened to Linda? Mom's reply, medical emergency. We're just grateful she's stable. Linda Marshall. The woman the nurse mentioned. Rebecca's ex-husband's mother. I searched for Linda Marshall. Found her profile. Public. Scrolled to June 2020. Found a post from her son. David. David Marshall. Rebecca's ex-husband. June 14th, 2020. Mom's in the hospital. Ventilator malfunction during routine check. Doctors say she's lucky to be alive. Investigating what went wrong. I screenshot it. Kept scrolling. June 20th, 2020. Update. Hospital confirmed someone tampered with Mom's ventilator settings during family visit hours. Security footage unclear. No charges filed. Family asked us to drop it to avoid conflict. We're just grateful Mom survived. I read it twice. Someone tampered with the ventilator during family visit hours. Rebecca had been there. Mom's Facebook confirmed it. I searched for more. Found another post. David's page. July 2020. Divorce finalized. Ready to move forward. Rebecca and David divorced 1 month after Linda's incident. I opened a new document, started typing. Timeline. November 2019. I donate kidney to Rebecca. Post-op. Rebecca, accidentally, hugs too hard, incision bleeds. June 2020. I'm hospitalized. Appendicitis. Morphine drip tampered with. June 2020. Linda Marshall, Rebecca's ex Emil, ventilator tampered. July 2020. Rebecca divorces David. December 2024. Rebecca rips out my IV4 incidents. 5 years. A pattern. Wednesday morning, I drove to the police station. The building was gray, institutional, smelled like coffee and bureaucracy. I walked to the front desk. Officer behind plexiglass. Young. Looked bored. Help you? I need to file an assault report. When did it happen? Saturday, December 14th. Who assaulted you? My sister. He stopped typing. Looked at me. Your sister. Yes. Okay, domestic incident. You'll need to fill out these forms. Then an officer will take your statement. He slid papers through the slot. I sat in the waiting area, filled out the forms. Name, address, relationship to assailant, description of incident. My sister, Rebecca Torres, intentionally pulled out my IV catheter while I was hospitalized at Methodist Hospital on December 14, 2024, at approximately 2:53 p.m. I have video evidence. I turned in the forms. Waited. 40 minutes later, an officer called my name. Young guy. Couldn't be older than 25. We sat in a small interview room. He read my statement. So your sister pulled out your IV? Yes. And you have video? I handed him the USB drive. Hospital security footage. He plugged it into a computer. Watched. 30 seconds. 1 minute. 2 minutes. He stopped the video. Mr. Torres, I'm going to be honest with you. Family disputes are complicated. This looks like she was trying to adjust it and you moved. I didn't move. She grabbed it and pulled. But there's no audio. No way to know what was said. It's your word against hers. There's video evidence of her touching your IV pole, not necessarily of deliberate assault. I stared at him. Watch it again. Watch where my mother stands. He sighed. Restarted the video. This time, he watched the whole thing. When it ended, he was quiet. Your mother did block the doorway. Yes. But that doesn't prove intent. Could have been coincidence. Could have. Wasn't. He closed the laptop. Look, I'll file the report. Give you a case number. But I'm telling you right now, the DA probably won't prosecute. Family disputes rarely go anywhere unless there's serious injury. You weren't seriously hurt. I had to have a nurse reinsert my IV. That's not serious injury in legal terms. What about the pattern? This is the third time she's done something like this. Third time? I told him about 2019, about 2020, about Linda Marshall. He wrote it down. But I could see in his face he didn't care. I'll note all of that. But unless you have proof she deliberately harmed those other people, it's just allegations. The hospital has flags on her, in their system. Hospital flags aren't criminal records. He stood. Give me a few days. I'll submit this to investigations. They'll decide if it's worth pursuing. You'll get an email with your case number. That's it? That's it. I left, sat in my truck. Felt like I'd just wasted 3 hours. That night, Jake came over, brought pizza, beer. How'd it go? Police don't care. Said it's a family dispute. Probably won't prosecute. Stuff that. Yeah. We ate in silence. Then Jake said, you know what? Even if they don't prosecute, you still did the right thing. You documented it. You made it official. That matters. Does it? Yeah. Because next time, and there will be a next time, you'll have a record. Proof of a pattern. I don't want there to be a next time. Then you need to cut them off, completely. I thought about that. What if you're wrong? What if Rebecca really didn't mean to? Jake set down his beer. Marcus, stop. You watched the footage. You saw her face. You know it wasn't an accident. He was right. I knew. I'd known the second she grabbed the line. So what do? You wait for the police, you document everything, and you stop protecting people who hurt you. Friday, I got an email. Case filing confirmation. 2024-87349. Your report has been filed with Metro PD. An investigator will contact you within 10 business days if additional information is needed. Case number 2024-87349. Official, real. I screenshot the email, added it to my evidence folder. Sat back. I just filed criminal charges against my sister. No going back now. 7 days passed. No call from the police. I went to work, fixed furnaces, replaced compressors, checked my phone constantly, waiting. Day 8, my phone rang. Unknown number. Marcus Torres? Yeah. Detective Ramirez, Metro Police, about case 2024-87349. Finally. I've reviewed your report and footage. Need to ask some questions. You told hospital staff the IV removal was an accident, then filed a report saying assault. Explain that. My stomach dropped. I was protecting her. Didn't want to believe she'd do it on purpose. So you lied to hospital staff? Yes. Silence. Here's the problem. I see 3 prior incidents on file. 2019, post-surgical bleeding. 2020, medication tampering. 2021, ventilator incident with a different patient. But none resulted in charges because victims didn't testify. I'm willing to testify now. Are you? Because you initially lied. Defense will use that. They'll say you're fabricating this out of spite. Family dispute over inheritance, maybe. How did he know about inheritance? There's no dispute. Really? Your father passed 8 months ago. Left you property. Sister unhappy about that? We haven't talked about it. Mr. Torres, if your sister's lawyer argues you fabricated assault to strengthen an estate dispute, that's reasonable doubt. Case falls apart. I sat in my truck, covered in dust, frustrated. So what do? Decide if you're committed. Once I move forward, it gets ugly. Family will know. Could take months. Even if charges stick, she'll likely get probation, no jail time. So she gets away with it. I'm saying be realistic about outcomes. Is probation and a restraining order enough? I thought about the footage, about Rebecca's blank face, about Mom blocking the door. What do you need from me? Commitment, no waffling. You show up, you testify. Can you do that? Yes. Give me 48 hours, I'll review everything again. If it checks out, I forward to the DA. He hung up. I sat there. 48 hours. 2 more days of not knowing. I didn't go home. Drove to Dad's house instead. The one he'd left me. 15 minutes outside the city. Small ranch. Overgrown yard. I hadn't been inside since the funeral. Unlocked the front door. The smell hit me immediately. Dust, stale air, grief. I walked through the living room, kitchen, his bedroom. Everything exactly where I'd left it. On his nightstand, a photo in a wooden frame. Me and Rebecca. Kids. Halloween. I was maybe 10, dressed as a ninja. She was 7, princess costume. Both of us smiling at the camera like we'd never heard of pain. I picked it up. Tried to remember when things changed. When did she stop being my little sister and start being my enemy? My phone buzzed. Email notification. I almost ignored it. But the subject line stopped me. Estate contest notification, Robert Torres estate. I opened it. The email was from Anderson and Klein Legal Services. We represent Rebecca Torres in a matter concerning the estate of Robert Torres, deceased. Our client is formally contesting the distribution of assets as outlined in the will dated March 15, 2024. I kept reading. Grounds for contest. Undue influence during period of diminished capacity. Claimant asserts that Marcus Torres manipulated the decedent during hospice care to alter estate distribution in his favor. A hearing has been scheduled for February 12, 2025 in probate court. I scrolled to the filing date. November 18, 2024. 3 weeks before she came to my hospital room. 3 weeks before she ripped out my IV. She'd already hired a lawyer. Already filed legal paperwork claiming I manipulated Dad while he was dying. And then she showed up at my hospital bed. Why? I read the email again. Thought about the timing. And then I understood. She came to provoke me. If I'd reacted, yelled, pushed her, caused a scene, hospital staff would have documented it. Erratic behavior, violent tendencies. She could use that in probate court. Look, Your Honor, my brother is unstable, aggressive. This is the man who supposedly cared for our father. Clearly he manipulated him. But I didn't give her what she wanted. I stayed calm. Reported her after she left. And now she had a different problem. A criminal investigation. I walked to Dad's bedroom closet. Opened it. Inside were boxes. Clothes I needed to donate. Shoes he'd never wear again. At the bottom, a cardboard file box labeled personal files in Dad's handwriting. I pulled it out. Opened it. Medical records. Hospice paperwork. Legal documents. And underneath everything, a spiral notebook. I opened it. Dad's handwriting filled the pages. Journal entries. Starting in 2019, June 2019. Marcus donated his kidney to Rebecca today. Surgery went well. He's in recovery now. Rebecca seems grateful. Susan is relieved. I'm proud of Marcus. He didn't hesitate when Rebecca needed help. I flipped ahead. June 2019. 1 week later. Marcus's incision started bleeding yesterday. He said Rebecca visited and hugged him too hard. Forgot he'd just had surgery. But when I asked him about it, he looked scared. Like he didn't want to tell me something. I don't know what happened in that room. But something feels wrong. My hand started shaking. March 2020. Susan is pressuring me to divide everything equally between the kids. Leave the house to both of them. But I'm worried about Rebecca. She's been different since the divorce. Angry all the time. Entitled. Marcus doesn't ask for anything. Just shows up when I need him. Helps without being asked. I think I need to protect him from her. June 2020. Marcus is in the hospital again. Appendicitis, emergency surgery. Rebecca visited yesterday. The nurses called me afterward. Said someone had adjusted Marcus's medication without authorization. They had to escort Rebecca out. Susan says I'm overreacting, that Rebecca was just trying to help. But I saw Marcus after. He looked terrified. April 2021. Linda Marshall nearly passed away last week. David called me. Said someone tampered with her ventilator during family visit hours. Hospital reviewed security footage. Rebecca and Susan were both there that day. David's family decided not to press charges. They wanted to avoid conflict, keep it private. But I know it was Rebecca. And I know Susan helped her cover it up. I could barely breathe. March 2024. I'm changing my will. Leaving the house to Marcus only. Susan will be furious when she finds out. Rebecca will contest it. But I can't risk leaving them anything together. I'm terrified of what Rebecca will do to Marcus if she thinks he's standing between her and what she wants. Ron knows everything. I've been sending him copies of all of this. If something happens to me, he'll make sure Marcus knows the truth. He'll make sure Marcus is protected. I closed the notebook. Set it on the bed. Dad knew. For 5 years, he'd known what Rebecca was. He documented everything, every incident, every red flag, every time Mom had covered for her. And he'd changed his will not to punish Rebecca, but to protect me, to make sure I had something she couldn't take, couldn't destroy. My phone rang. Jake. Hey. Where are you? I've been texting. Sorry, I'm at Dad's house. You okay? I found Dad's journal. He knew about Rebecca, about everything. He was documenting it for years. Silence. Then, Jesus. He left me the house to protect me, Jake. Not because I was the better son, because he was afraid of what she'd do if we shared it. He was right to be afraid. I looked around the empty bedroom. Rebecca's contesting the will. Filed 3 weeks before she came to the hospital. Claims I manipulated Dad while he was dying. That's insane. It's going to cost me $10,000 to fight it. Money I don't have. So what are you going to do? I don't know. Maybe nothing. Maybe I just let the criminal charges speak for themselves. Her lawyer will tell her to drop the probate case once she's facing assault charges. And if she doesn't drop it? Then I show them this journal. Show them the hospital records. Show them she's the one with a pattern of hurting people, not me. Jake was quiet for a moment. You want me to come over? No, I'm going to stay here for a bit. Go through more of Dad's stuff. Call me if you need anything. I will. I hung up, sat on Dad's bed, looked at the journal, at the photo of me and Rebecca as kids, at the house he'd left me to keep me safe. And I made a decision. I wasn't giving up the house. I wasn't backing down from the criminal charges. I wasn't protecting Rebecca anymore. Dad had spent 5 years trying to shield me from her. The least I could do was finish what he started. 3 days later, Detective Ramirez called. We're filing charges. Assault in the 3rd degree. Your sister will be notified by certified mail within 48 hours. You'll receive a court summons in 4 to 6 weeks. What about my mother? She's not being charged, but she's listed as a material witness. She'll be subpoenaed to testify. She'll lie. Maybe. But we have the security footage. Hard to lie about what's on video. When will Rebecca find out? Letter should arrive Monday. Monday. 3 days from now. There's one more thing, Ramirez said. The DA's office wants to offer a plea deal. Reduced charge in exchange for probation, anger management, and a restraining order. No jail time. Are you okay with that? Do I have a choice? You can push for a trial, but trials are unpredictable. Juries are unpredictable. A plea deal guarantees she faces consequences. What do you recommend? Take the plea. Get the restraining order. Move on with your life. Okay. I'll let the DA know. You'll hear from the prosecutor's office within 2 weeks to discuss details. Thank you. You did the right thing, Marcus. I know it doesn't feel like it right now. But you did. He hung up. I sat in my apartment, stared at the wall. It was done. Criminal charges filed. Restraining order coming. Rebecca would know by Monday that I wasn't backing down. And then everything would explode. The explosion came Sunday night. I was making dinner when my phone started buzzing. Mom. I let it ring. Voicemail notification appeared. Then a text. Call me right now. Another text. How could you do this? Another. The police called Rebecca. You filed charges against your own sister? I set the phone down. Ignored it. It buzzed again. Uncle Ron this time. Heard what you did. Calling the cops on family is shameful. You should be ashamed of yourself. I blocked his number. Then Mom's. My phone rang again immediately. Rebecca. I let it go to voicemail. Didn't listen. Just blocked her number too. 30 seconds later, another call. Different number. I answered. Marcus Torres? Yes? This is Sarah Chen. I'm the prosecutor assigned to your case. Do you have a minute? Yeah. Your sister was notified today. Her attorney has already reached out about negotiating a plea. I'd like to meet with you this week to go over everything. Are you available Thursday afternoon, 2 o'clock? I can make that work. Good. Bring any documentation you have. Medical records, hospital incident reports, anything that demonstrates a pattern of behavior. I have my father's journal. He documented incidents going back 5 years. Silence. That's extremely helpful. Definitely bring that. Okay. I'll see you Thursday. My office is downtown. I'll send you the address. Thank you. She hung up. I looked at my phone. 3 blocked numbers. 1 upcoming meeting. 1 journal full of proof. And somewhere across town, Rebecca was realizing that this time, I wasn't going to protect her. This time, there would be consequences. Finally. The call came on a Tuesday morning. Unknown number. Marcus Torres? Yeah. This is Ron Torres, your uncle. We need to talk. I was wrong. Can I come see you? I have something you need to see. Uncle Ron showed up holding a manila folder. He looked older, grayer. Can I come in? You here to tell me I'm destroying the family? No, I'm here to tell you I was wrong. I stepped aside. He sat on my couch. The prosecutor called asking about Rebecca's history. I started digging through old emails, found these. Your dad sent them starting in 2019. I'd forgotten they existed. He handed me the first email. From Robert Torres to Ron Torres. Date, June 14th, 2020. Ron. Marcus was in ICU after his appendix ruptured. Rebecca visited. Nurses said she was adjusting his medications without authorization. They escorted her out. Susan says I'm overreacting, but I saw Marcus afterward. He looked scared. I don't know what to do. I read it twice. There's more, Uncle Ron said. From Robert Torres to Ron Torres. Date, April 22nd, 2021. Ron, Rebecca did it again. To Linda Marshall. David's mother. Hospital security caught her tampering with ventilator settings. Linda survived. Family didn't press charges. But the hospital banned Rebecca for 6 months. I confronted her. She said Linda deserved it. I'm scared, Ron. This isn't grief. This is something else. My hands shook. From Robert Torres to Ron Torres. Date, March 10th, 2024, Ron. I'm changing my will. Leaving the house to Marcus only. Rebecca will contest it. I know she will. But I can't risk leaving them property together. Rebecca sees Marcus as an obstacle. If I leave them anything together, she'll hurt him to get what she wants. If anything happens to me, make sure Marcus knows why I did this. He's the only one who showed up when it mattered. I had to sit down. Your dad didn't leave you the house because you were his favorite, Uncle Ron said. He left it to you because he was terrified Rebecca would destroy you to get it. Why didn't you show me these before? Because when your mom called after you filed charges, she was crying. Said you'd turned on Rebecca over money. I believed her. I'd forgotten these emails existed. He looked at me. I failed you. I'm sorry. The prosecutor has copies now, Uncle Ron said. She said they strengthen your case significantly. He stood. I'll testify if they need me. Your dad asked me to protect you. I didn't. I'm fixing that now. He left. 2 weeks later, I met with Sarah Chen. Her office was downtown, small, cluttered. Rebecca's attorney proposed a plea deal. She'll plead guilty to reckless endangerment, 18 months probation, 200 hours community service, anger management, 2-year restraining order. No jail? No jail. And I need to be honest. The judge assigned doesn't like family cases. If we go to trial, she might dismiss it entirely. The plea guarantees consequences. What do you recommend? Take the plea. You get protection. She gets consequences. I thought about Dad's journal, about the emails. If I take the plea, does it affect the probate case? Sarah smiled slightly. Having an assault conviction makes it nearly impossible to contest a will. Demonstrates harmful behavior toward the beneficiary. Her attorney would be smart to advise dropping it. Then I'll take the plea. Court date is January 14th, 9 a.m. Be prepared for your family to be there. January 14th. I stood outside courtroom 5B at 8:45. Thrift store suit. Didn't fit right. Jake beside me. Sarah arrived at 8:50. Rebecca's taking the plea. Should be quick. At 8:55 they arrived. Mom in black, Rebecca in gray. Rebecca wouldn't look at me. Uncle Ron appeared behind me. I'm here if you need me. At 9, we filed in. Judge Marion, silver hair, stern. Case number 2024-87349. State versus Rebecca Torres. Rebecca's lawyer outlined the plea. Judge Marion looked at Sarah. Ms. Chen, given the documented pattern spanning 5 years, the state requests 24 months probation and a 5-year restraining order. Rebecca's lawyer objected. Judge Marion held up her hand. Ms. Torres, accept the modified terms or we proceed to trial. Rebecca looked at her lawyer. I accept, Your Honor. Mr. Torres, do you wish to make a statement? I stood. 5 years ago, I donated a kidney to my sister. 2 years ago, I cared for my father during hospice. 6 months. My sister visited twice. My father left me his house because I stayed. She filed a will contest 3 weeks before she ripped out my IV. My voice steadied. This isn't the first time. Hospital records show multiple incidents. I don't want revenge. I want her to get help. And I want to make sure she can't do this to anyone else. I sat. Judge Marion removed her glasses. Ms. Torres, stand. I've reviewed the evidence, the footage, the incident reports, the documentation from your father. This pattern cannot continue. 24 months probation, 300 hours community service, anger management twice weekly. No contact with your brother for 5 years. Violate this, you will be arrested. Understand? Yes, Your Honor. The gavel hit. Done. Outside, Mom waited by her car. Uncle Ron walked over, spoke quietly. She shook her head, got in her car, drove away. Jake and I stood in the parking lot. How do you feel? Empty. Yeah, that's normal. 3 days later, the probate attorney called. Rebecca withdrew the estate contest. The will stands. The property is yours. She'd given up. Not because she realized she was wrong, because she'd lost leverage. 4 weeks later, I sold Dad's house. Too many ghosts. The check was enough to pay debts. Down payment on a small place. Fresh start. 2 months after court, Mom texted. I've been thinking about what you said. I talked to Ron. He showed me the emails from your dad. I didn't know he was that worried. I thought he was overreacting. I was wrong. I'm not good at saying that, but I was wrong about a lot of things. I don't expect you to forgive me, but I wanted you to know I'm trying to understand. I read it 3 times. Typed, I'm not ready for a relationship with you, but I appreciate you saying that. It's a start. Sent it. Didn't feel triumphant. Just lighter. The next morning, I called Methodist Hospital. I'd like to volunteer with post-op recovery patients, the ones who don't have family visiting. Wonderful. When can you start? Next week. Then I called the animal shelter. Rita, is Rocky still there? He is. Why? I want to adopt him and sign up for therapy dog training. Tuesday's work? Perfect. 2 weeks later, I walked into Methodist with Rocky. A nurse directed us to room 312. Patients post-op, no family, could use company. I knocked. An older man in bed. Tired. Hi, I'm Marcus. This is Rocky, we volunteer. Mind if we visit? He looked at Rocky, smiled. I'd like that. Rocky rested his head on the bed. The man scratched behind his ears. Thank you. We stayed 20 minutes. That night, Rocky sprawled across my lap. Jake texted about dinner this weekend. I said yes. Looked at Rocky. At my apartment. Small but mine. At the life I was building. Not perfect, not healed, but better. And maybe someday it would include Mom. But on my terms. When I was ready. Because I chose. For now, I had work. Jake, Rocky, people who showed up. And that was enough.